Oh, hey, Peddler, Gaming Giant, how's it going? Whoa, whoa, did you guys hear me? I made the mistake of adjusting my mic's gain, so I probably screwed it up. Okay, so today's gonna be short because uh, hang on. What do you mean short like me? I'm tall. I'm tall like Maddie. Okay, so I wanted to do this stream a few days ago, but I was waiting for this thing to come in. So let me. So this is just a Archangel. Hey, how's it going? This is a 12 volt, relatively high current power supply. Um, 12 volts at 30 amps, so 360 watts. Um, but it doesn't work. So the purpose of this power supply is to replace, and let me move this so you can see it. So this gadget right here is just a small form factor PC power supply. So I have it connected to one of these little breakout boards that provides all the 3 volts, 5 volts, 12 volts that comes out of the typical PC power supply. So this kind of made sense when I had more electronic stuff on my desk, but my rearranging of my desktop meant that instead of I cleaned up the wiring under, behind the computer, and all the electronic bins I used to have, parts bins I used to have here, I moved. Let me put this back on the tripod. I moved all of that stuff over there. So all my electronic stuff is off on the side. And then, oh, Gaming Giant, Maddie is Femboy drumming. And then I moved my Macs over here. So theoretically, it gives me more room to work in a broken kind of way. I wanted to switch out the PC power supply with this new one, which is just 12 volts only, but this thing turns out to be defective. So I already tested it, which is how I know there's a problem. But I'm gonna test it again just to prove the point, and return this thing for a replacement. So okay, not plugged in, so safe. Alexa, turn on main. So I already addressed these connections. So this is an older AC cord that I use for experiment. So I've already addressed the connections. So no exposed conductors except for the spade lugs at the end, but those get taken care of when I screw them in. So let's see. Live first. Neutral. And ground. Neutral, live, neutral, ground. Okay, so this is now wired. Plug it into 120 volts. And I got a voltmeter on there somewhere. Okay, AC. Oh, this might be interesting. I got this in 1985 from the Tsukuba Expo in Japan. 1985. Thing is still working. I got it in AC mode. So from line to ground, should be 120 volts. I'm reading, it's fluctuating around 112, 116. That's about right. But the part that's wrong is the 12 volt output is dead. And the lamp doesn't come on. So this just confirms what I already determined like an hour ago. So this power supply is dead. And so that kills my content. That kills the most time consuming part of this content today. So I'm going to show you the stopgap I'm going to use until the replacement for this power supply comes in. Okay, so we're going to clean this off. No valves. You know, part of me when I saw Astra experiment or using you know, all that old electronics, all the stuff with vacuum tubes. I mean, I kind of got a little interested, but I've never played with vacuum tubes, so it would be a whole thing for me to start buying those components. And you know, I'd probably buy a kit like an amplifier, like she might have, because you know, audio amplifiers are all pretty useful just in general. But I don't really need that stuff. And you know, the other problem is, you know, the voltages required are so high, and I'm happy with stuff that runs at 12 volts DC. So, oh, is there a commercial? Sorry. Let me see. I should have an indicator. Okay, so there should be an ad. There should be an ad in like 55 minutes. I think I only have 1 minute of ads every hour, so not making much money off of that. Okay, so this is a defective power supply. So I got to return that. But once I get that in, I'll do another stream where I maybe show more of of what I'm going to use it for. But today, I'm going to show you as much as I can. Since I do have the existing PC style power supply, which has been working for years. And of course it's not broken, so I'm going to fix it by replacing it with something different, which ironically is broken or defective from the supplier. Oh, how ironic! I bought a packet of rubber feet for it, but don't need it. Um, okay, so let me show you. This is kind of a neat gadget. So I previously showed this thing. Hang on, let me unroll it. So this is just a meter of LED, white LED. It's going to get real bright here in a second. Okay. Woo. I believe the density is 320 LEDs per meter, so if I didn't want to burn out my eyes, or if I had sunglasses, I could probably count 320 individual chip on board LEDs here. So let me unplug this. So that's cool, but it's very bright. So I found these at Amazon. So these are just dimmers, right? Pulse width modulated dimmer. So they don't work like a rheostat or a resistor that just burns off heat and reduces voltage. It actually sends 5 volts, but at a frequency that causes the LEDs to not light at full brightness. So pulse width modulator is how they're identified as a product. But so basically, there's an oscillator in here that outputs 5-volt pulses, and the duration of the the duration of the 5-volt pulses versus 0-volt or no voltage pulses is adjusted by the knob here, and then that determines how bright things get. So I plugged it into the power supply, and then I can adjust the brightness. So this is kind of a neat little gadget. I think it was only like $5 for a pair. So what I've done, which you can see on this camera, is I replaced the older LED strips with 2 new 1 meter strips. So you can see over here, that's a 1 meter strip that goes all the way to the left. And then here's the other 1 meter strip that goes all the way to the right. Well, they're freaking bright. So I already mounted these. But of course the catch is they don't respond to Alexa because they're just plugged in. So for now, I'm going to use this device, which I used to have mounted on a different part of my cubby. So this is a Wi-Fi controlled power switch. So it's actually initialized. It's actually functional. So this will respond to Alexa. This is what used to turn lights on and off when I would say, Alexa, turn on desk lights. And it didn't work. Alexa, turn on desk lights. There. So the red light went on, so that means the relay closed. And so now 12 volts are flowing out of this controller. Alexa, turn off desk. Okay, turned off. What happened to my thumb? Thin skin. I think it's a symptom of my type 1 or type 2 diabetes. So I have thin skin and I heal slowly. So I scratched my thumb, and the wound just doesn't close. So it just keeps getting irritated and never heals, and so I have to cover it up to get it to heal. I got together, back to work. Oh, cornbread. Okay, so anyway, since the 12-volt power supply still works, the old one, since that one is still working, I can use that to temporarily power this gadget. So this gadget here is just a 12-volt to 5-volt regulator. Nits, hey, how's it going? So this will be used to power these LED strips. So let me turn these off. So, oh, you can't really see it, but I've got one of these. This is just a USB 5-volt charger. charger slash power supply. So that's always on 5 volts. No data. It's literally just USB power supply. So that's what's powering on all the always on stuff on my desk. So let me just disconnect that from here. So I don't need this Y splitter. Let me put you down for a second. I don't know if you're going to see anything. So here's the 12 volt deal. So I'm going to kind of put this a little out of the way. This will just sit in the back here unattractively until I get the new power supply. So I can like semi-permanently install it. And then here's 5 volts coming out of here. Alexa, turn on desk light. Okay, now we got power. Okay, so now that's full brightness, but that's too bright. So let me do this. Alexa, turn off desk light. Alexa, turn on desk light. Okay, so now it's working the way my lights used to work. Not tonight, Pastor Van. This really should be a short stream. So now I've replicated the old functionality, but it's all ugly because I have to use this temporary setup because the power supply I bought does not work. So when I get the replacement power supply, I'll set it in the back, and then I'll just run a 12 volt lead to my little voltage regulator and my little light controller. Stick that probably over here, you know, double side tape it, and just have it out. I don't care that it's exposed. And then it's, you know, semi-permanently attached. You know, nothing here is permanently attached. Everything has. Oh, this is kind of interesting. So I like a lot of people. I use double-sided tape to hold stuff, but I use this stuff. This is 3M VHB, very high bond, double-sided tape. And what's cool about it is, one, it's a fairly strong. It's a stronger bond and more heat resistant than the normal white foamy stuff 3M has. But the actual part of the tape that carries adhesive, that doesn't like tear apart like the white foamy stuff does. So you can roll it up with your thumb and take it off relatively cleanly. So it costs a little more than the white stuff, but it's a lot better. So this is just, it's 3M VHB double-sided tape. VHB just means very high bond. So I keep a stock of that on because that's super useful. So yeah, so my little power supply will sit back there. You know, all the wiring exposed, so it's gonna sit there for a little while. And then when I do get a power supply that works, I'll put it over here somewhere. Take out that old black one, kind of retire him and replace it with the newer one, which will be 12 volt only. And then I'll run some kind of nice wire to this green unit, which is the Wi-Fi based controller. And then, so this will be stuck on my side here, and then this will be stuck on the side here, and this just takes 12 volts and turns it into 5 volts for the LEDs. So, you know, the question might be, well, like, why don't you just keep everything 5 volts since you're driving LEDs? Well, if I have 12 volts, then I have the option to run, you know, 12 volt devices or 5 volt devices. So if I need 5 volt devices, I just regulate at point of use. And actually, I have a bunch of these. So this deal at the, oh, let me use the better camera. If I can find it. Yeah, so that gadget there that's kind of in focus, that's an adjustable buck regulator. So I believe the input range is 3 volts to 24 volts or something like that. And then the output can be anything from um, 2 volts to like 24 or something. But I just dial it in to be 5 volts. So I used to have 12 volts going to all these little gadgets on my desk, and then I would have a little regulator on the breadboard to bring it down to 5 if the circuits needed 5. So I never had to bring out. I have a lot of zip cord that's just 2 conductor, right? Oh my God, why did you eat that? So now I just bring out 12 volts and buck it down to 5 if I need it. I'm thinking of building a budget PC from scratch. Man, I want to build a new PC, but it's so much money. Why do you like cinnamon in your cornbread? I would take cinnamon in my cornbread. I like cornbread a little sweet. I think it's is it Church's fried chicken? They do a sweet cornbread, and I think Popeyes does too. And I like those over the like the non-sweetened, plain cornbread. A short straw. Look who snuck in. Fire hazard. This whole place is a fire hazard. Yeah, Nits. I'm actually using a that's a PC power supply, and I've got a breakout board for it. But I want to get away from this. So I've got that. I don't have to like short anything. That the board that button shorts the power pin that you're talking about. So I was using that when I was doing more electronics projects. But since I've kind of repurposed my desk to be so this desk is now just going to be computers. And then this desk is just still computer like it always was. And then my electronic stuff is going to be over there. But see, that's just parts and supplies. I'll still bring it back. I'll just bring stuff back to work on over here, which is kind of what I've been doing, because when I had all the parts bins back where these Macs are, I'd have to move stuff out of the way to get access to all the drawers. So now by doing this, I can keep this area clear almost all the time. And then as I do a project, I can just populate it with stuff. So since I've been working on a few things, I got my little tool bucket, and then I've got the parts for the different projects I'm working on. But oh no, why did that leg fall? So I don't know if you saw it, Nits, but this is what's replacing that PC power supply. So this is just a 12 volt, 30 amp power supply. And I think this is actually more power than that PC power supply is capable of, but this thing's defective. So because it's defective, I can't finalize the lighting, and I can't also work on the Peltier cooler. I'll show you that in a second. So I got to return this, get a new one. Should happen pretty quick. I'll probably have it by the weekend. Hook up all your monitors. I wish it was that simple, but these generations of Macs, they all behave differently in how much you can use the monitor. But it's not clean. It's not as simple. It's not something where they function like a real monitor. It has to be running the OS. Excuse me. It has to be running the OS, and it's a hassle. Keeping the work area clear will never happen. We all say that. Well, no, it actually was the other day, but I started bringing all this shit up. So like this is my little parts tray. So project fits in there, but project is on hold because power supply didn't work. But actually, this whole area was clear, but not anymore. At least not now. I'll actually be able to clear it off once I get the power supply in. Shockwave, what's going on? What happened to your thumb? Thin skin and scratches that don't heal quickly because of my type 2 diabetes. That's one of the symptoms. I don't know how many of you know that, but you can wound in for some people wounds don't heal as fast when you've got type 2. What's that? Maddie bit her. Nah, she can't reach that high. Okay, I'm going to show you that awkward fat guy. So this was going to be the other half of the stream. If the power supply worked, let me show you. So rather than build one, because I could never find the Peltier coolers that I had, you know, they're still somewhere in this room. I just don't know where the hell they are. So I bought one that's just it's ready to go. But let me show you all the defects I found on this damn thing. So this thing was just packed in a box that was literally just big enough to hold it. No padding, nothing immobilizing it in the box, so it could actually move left and right in the box. So there's actually damage to some of the fins. You can see that some of these fins are bent in. These fins are bent in, but it still works because the tubes are fine. The radiators were kind of smooshed together, so there was no this. You can kind of see the clear space. That space there, that gap wasn't there, so I kind of pulled it apart. Bent fin, exactly. Fin is bent. Sarah is. Oh, I should. Yep. So I was telling. So there is a Finster mod named Sarah the Archer. So if you watch Finstreams, you might have seen her in chat. So she actually came up to Vegas as kind of a quickie vacation for herself. And you know, since I live in Vegas, she said, "Oh, we should meet." So we had lunch the other day, and she gave me the shirt. So I told her, "Well, I'll totally wear it when I stream." So I'm wearing it because I'm streaming. So even if she's not watching, which I don't expect her to, I think she's actually still. Actually, she's probably on the way to the airport now, or even in the boarding area. But there's a VOD, so she'll be able to see it. So yeah, so what was it? So yeah, so the radiators were kind of smooshed together, and I had to pull them apart. There's some give there, and this is like not the most, you know, it's not the most attractive looking thing, but it works. It just draws a shitload of current. So that's partly why I'm changing out the power supply from the PC one, which can't supply enough amperage for this thing to work fully. And I also want to be able to use a lot thicker wire or heavier wire. So what it came with, this feels almost like 14 gauge, but as kind of a kludge, I wired it to my existing, you know, 18 gauge and tested it. So this part of the wire does not get warm, but this part of the wire, which is 18 gauge, gets very warm. So, you know, not the solution. So when I get the replacement power supply, I will run. I have some 16 gauge in the kit, so I'll terminate a 16 gauge run, you know, with spade lugs at one end, and then this thing. This is kind of funny. I did not realize these switches would be as big as they are. Oh shoot, hang on. Okay, I know one of these cameras is catching the action. So I bought the broken. So I thought these were a lot smaller than they turned out to be. So it's a switch, you know. So it actually has it's actually got a little gasket, so ostensibly this thing can survive being maybe not full immersion, but they can definitely survive splashing. So this will handle tens of amps of current. So this is a nice, highly overrated switch. So I'll just run. This will go in this end, something like that, right? And then coming out this end will be the wire I make that goes directly into the power supply. So the new power supply I'm getting will power my lights on my desk, all the time, and then whenever I have a large project, it'll power the large project. So I did run this thing for a little while, and it got cold enough that it was condensing water out of the air. So the whole top of this thing got wet, just from room moisture. And when I put a towel on it, the towel soaked up the moisture, and then the towel froze to the plate. So, I put one of my monsters on it, and the bottom of the monster can and the liquid at the bottom did get cool, but I don't know how much current this thing was drawing, so I don't know how effective it was. I don't know if it was working at full power or not. But you could feel the heat. Where's the exhaust one? I don't know which the exhaust end is. Okay, so this is the exhaust end. So I had it like this on the desk. So the intake was from the back, and then hot air was coming out here. And the air coming out was not hot, but it was definitely warm. So the Peltier coolers were doing their thing. They were moving heat out of the cold plate and moving it into the radiators, which is what it's supposed to do. So, $37 for this thing, yeah, it's probably worth it. I did find another cooler that had a round aluminum cup, so you could put your Coke in it or whatever. So it's a more formalized thing. Same basic look, but it had that cup, and I'm thinking, this is more flexible. I'll play with this. Is there liquid circulating? Well, it's got the same heat radiating tubes, heat pipes that are common on air coolers. So there is a liquid in there, but it's not like a water cooling system, right? It's not free flowing, mostly water. I don't know what the chemical is in there, but it's how do you say this? There's like really thin pipe or really thin passageways inside that tubing, which circulates. I guess it's in gas form. Name of the cooler. Well, yeah, they're Peltier coolers, so you can almost. Oh, I think they've got it. They've got it pretty covered up. But what's interesting is they've only got a single junction in there. But I mean, it fits. They couldn't fit more than one junction on there. So the Peltier coolers I bought, they're about this big each, and you can stack them, which you don't get absolute zero on the top. It gets a little cooler than it would otherwise. Or you can arrange them, next to each other in like a grid pattern, so you can cool larger objects. But yeah, I didn't have that. Let's say cooler. Well, technically this is an air cooler. It's just that they instead of having a flat plate for a CPU, they've stuck a Peltier junction on top of it and then bolted this on. So it's mostly an air cooler. But it's cheap, no brand air cooler. So when I get the replacement power supply, that's when I'll be able to actually use that at full power and then really test it. And when I have the power supply, this whole area will be clean. Clean. Actual, nothing on top, no junk. You know, you can see the tabletop. As advertised. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Shockwave is like, in order for me to use the last add-on rack for my my PC case, my AIO cooling, the tubes that run from the the plate that mounts on the CPU, you know, the tubes that run from that to the radiator, they're in the way of the hard drive rack. So for me to be able to put in the last 3 hard drives, I have to install that rack so I can go from 6 drives to 9 drives. But to install the rack, I have to switch back to an air cooler. And you know, my PC used to have an air cooler, but I lost the hardware. So it's like, okay, now I need to buy new hardware. So I might as well get a slightly better air cooler. But I'll just kludge around. How do I say this? So instead of just adding the 2 drives I'm gonna add, I'm gonna replace the 2 8 terabyte drives with 2 16. So I get more storage, but I keep my drive count. And then at some point in the future, I'll add the 8s back so I can have more storage, because I'm kind of a whore for storage. Alexa, turn off desk lights. Yes. Alexa, turn on desk lights. So I like how that works now. Oh, and I also since I bought, since those dimmers are so cheap, I bought 2 pairs, and I already had a 1/2 meter length of those LED strips. So I always had one mounted. Let me put this other camera. So I used to have an LED strip, so I'm kind of touching it right now. It's underneath my monitor bezel now, but before it was behind. So I would always have a constant backlight back there just for lighting. But I put it down here, so now I can illuminate my my keyboard independent of room lighting. So that's handy. So when I first did this, it was the full brightness, right? So it completely blows out any RGB effect coming off the keyboard. But I want the RGB, even though I didn't pay for the keyboard. So I put the dimmer on there, and so I can have my cake and eat it too. I can have a little bit of under monitor lighting and still see the RGB. So that's neat. Yeah, the only thing I've lost is so that gray thing you can see up there is one of the old LED strips I used to use. So it was a kit that had 6 of those things, and you know, they work. They're reasonably bright, but they're not even the brightness of these LED strips. So you know, I really had outgrown them. Now the complication is the LED strips, you know, mount the way they mount. So for me to put LED strips up there, you know, up in this cubby, and then also up in this cubby here, you can't see what I'm pointing at. This cubby here, I've got to get more 1/2 meter strips and then more wire, you know, USB cabling. I'll figure it out. You know, they've got all of it. It's just a little inconvenient. That looks like a chunky LED strip in the cupboard. Well, here, let me hang on. I got the. So this is what. Here's what it is close up. And the problem with these are there's so few LEDs in here. You can see the space, the dead space between the LEDs. So, you know, this gets only so bright, and then you know, that's it. And the product has kind of a built-in defect because there's 6 of these in the kit, and they wire in series. So you can imagine what happens you know, the fifth and sixth LED strips aren't as bright as the first and second one because there's some voltage drop. So you know, it's if you use the wiring they give you, you end up with all 6 LED strips work, but the ones at the end are a little bit dimmer than the ones at the beginning. So you fix that by like taking the cables, cutting everything up, and wiring them to like in a star arrangement rather than a daisy chain. But then you know who's gonna do that? You know I don't even want to do that. I mean that's relatively easy, you know, cutting and splicing. But I don't want to do that because I'm kind of lazy. So, and you know when you're done, okay, you've got them running at fairly high brightness for what they're capable of, but it's still nothing compared to what these LED strips could do. And these LED strips are cheaper and brighter and you know everything. More better. So I'll just get more of these. I think this is a meter. Yeah, this is a meter. So half of that's enough because these things are so freaking bright. What I don't know is how long these last. But since I'm not going to be running these at full brightness, they should last longer than otherwise. You say this in a way, yet I've seen you build an LED face mask. Okay, well that's different. The LED face mask, you know, was for Finn and it was for Peachy. So, you know, it was kind of labor of love, or you know, the work was going to a gift. So you know, I wanted to put the effort in, but for my own sake, ugh, no thanks. Really, I should have bought. I should have. Whenever I bought those old things, I should have found something better. But I don't know if you guys have watched that segment of the market. But you know, LED strips started out relatively expensive, and they weren't as available as they are now. You know, now you can get like a 5 meter um, RGB strip with a controller and all that stuff, and it's like $20. You know, but 5 years ago, forget it. So they've come down price really fast. So where do I put this where it doesn't get lost? Not a good place. Not a good place. Oh, smaller than I thought with your hand as perspective. Well, you know that's how Soko makes her legs look so long. Maybe I missed it if you said it, but why not buy a roll? Wait, roll of what? Knits. Oh my God, it's funny you say that because oh, where did it go? I don't think I ever explicitly showed it, but I had it was just under a meter. It was an RGB light strip, and um, I had it connected to this little microcontroller, and you know since I had 12 volts available to every gadget on my desk, I just had the thing on 24/7. So I had an RGB light show that just constantly ran. Um, but you know, after a couple of years, I've turned it off because I'm redoing the desk, so I took all that old stuff out, and you know, it still works. I just oh here it is. So wait, this will show you better. So those are discrete RGB LEDs. Um, I wonder if I can get this working while you guys wait. Let me see. Uh, uh, Oh, where's the, oh, here it is. Wrong end. Let's see, red is probably 5 volts. Yellow is probably yellow. Green is probably blue. And black is black. So just a little geek note: the LEDs I used for Peachy and Finn's mask are one type of RGB LED, and then these are another kind. These operate at a much higher frequency. They're more flexible in the things you can do with them. Like I believe one of them is you can do a persistence of vision effect with these because they can switch much faster than the other style. The other style is more forgiving or requires less demanding circuit. Um, but they end up like these cost a little bit more. Um, so let's see. There's my 5 volts. Let me get a jumper. Let me see if I can get this to work. And I need 5 volts. Oh, I have 5 volts. So the LED dimmers I bought came with this little bonus. So what that is, I don't know if this was even listed on the BOM for the product, but it's just a Type A USB to red and black. So it just breaks out the 5 volts off of a standard USB cable. So if you weren't going to use the like proper connectors like I'm using, you can actually wire to a circuit with this. So now I've got 4 of these just hanging around that I can do whatever I want with. So I don't think I need this jumpers anymore. I just need to strip this a little bit. Oh crap. No! Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Hang on. I just wanted to expose a little bit more wiring, but I ended up cutting off the leads are tinned, right? The tips already have solder on them, so the wire doesn't fry apart. But I cut off the soldered part, or the tin part. Okay, so if I plug in the red, red, black. Ugh, I can't feel a thing. I'm using the hand with the thumb that's bandaged out, and I can't feel anything. Okay, so that's 5 volts wired. Okay, so I don't need these. Let me put these back. 5 volts in the form of USB power. So let's see if this works. There it is. Cool. So I had this light show running 24/7 in the room. It's just a moving rainbow. And I didn't have a project for this LED strip, so I just had it running. I just hooked it up and just let it run forever. So I think it actually ran for maybe, except for the occasional power loss, it probably ran more or less constantly for like 4 years. Yeah, except the difference between me and Electro Boom is I'm not deliberately trying to get myself electrocuted. Ah, what happened? Oh no, I broke it. Okay, so not the most reliable wiring. But it's a neat show. I just don't have a project for this strip, and it's kind of a waste just to use it for lighting because I only have the one strip, and it's cheaper to buy. It's cheaper to buy, you know, a commercial product. Cool lightsaber. I don't know. As soon as you whack that thing against somebody's something, it will destroy it. I know Finn bought a nice lightsaber. Or was it Neoriza and they were playing with it on stream, and you know it made the sounds and everything, which is cool. A notification bar. Yeah, but how would I export like a signal from my computer out to Oh, hang on. Having just said that, I just realized that's relatively easy. I just remembered there was an application for a model microcontroller that I've got a few of, where you just leave it plugged into your computer 24/7. Oh, but how do you talk to it? That might be the thing. That might be the thing. I don't know. Something to look into. So. Let me put this. There is no safe place to put this, so let me just partially disconnect it. Yeah, so that cubby up there, let me show you this. This cubby up here is just it's full of the old wiring and then the old gadgets I had sitting on the desk. So some of that stuff will get repurposed, some of it will just go into the junk box. I used to have the desk set up to do more electronics experiments since I had the better power distribution and all that, but now it's like I just mostly want to do computer stuff. So it's like I need more open desk space, which is not what I have right now. Anyway. Yeah, it's because I don't have I don't have a lavatory mic like Natty has. Oh, you know what? Since I've thought about it, how much did that thing cost her? Those things aren't cheap. Amazon. I know Matt. So Maddie has her new lavalier mic, and I know Yuma has one. We actually heard her. They were using it when I don't know if it was their first or second visit when Yuma and Soko visited Maddie, but she had her lavalier mic on them, and it's the same one she took to Europe. So all of these random brand names that don't mean anything. Eh? Which one's that? So here I'm doxing myself again. Oh, DJI. $250. Oh my god. Rode $70, but wired. So I don't know any of these other names. So far, I only recognize DJI. Oh my god, here's one that's even more expensive. $350. Jesus. I probably need something like that. Since it's, I think for the type of content presentation I do, I move around too much. So I can't just have a fixed mic. Oh, I'm not buying anything tonight. I'm shopping for lavalier mics. Lavatory mics. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Cuddlebear. That Maddie, I think you started using it, what, 2 streams ago? I mean, she needs it because she, since the poll is going to be the regular Friday thing, right? So she's got to stay on the mics. Man, these fuzzy things just freak me out. I'm not a fan. All these brand names I've never heard of. They're just whatever. Let me try something here. What if I go? What if I try not to dox myself? What do I get without customization? Oh, I can't have those two windows together. Oops. Oops. Oh wow. So I'm trying to open or point my window capture scene or source to that Firefox instance that's in a anonymous or private window, and it's not available because it's a private window. So I guess I just have to be in a logged out window. Well, that's inconvenient. Let me switch to Alt 1. So this should be logged out. No, that's logged in too. But, oh, it switched to, hang on. My mistake. Ding. Open Alt 1 container. Oh, there you go. So I was clued into containers on Firefox by a couple people. It might have been Hinga and one other person in Maddie's Discord. But it's cool because I can have effect. They're like VMs, but for the browser, right? So on a tab by tab basis, I can have a different container, and in that container, I can have a different. I can be logged in as a different user or not logged in at all. So if I want to dox myself, I can use my personal container, which is logged in as me, or as I've just learned, I can go to my Alt 1 container, which is not logged in to Amazon. So basically it's effectively anonymous. Oh, it's still leaking my zip code. Oh no. But I got I just made a ton of containers. It's a cool feature. Very cool feature. If you go to one of the Bluetooth, you might be able to hook it up to your iPhone or computer wirelessly. Well, awkward fat guy. If I can, I mean, in principle, I can use my AirPods with one of these iPhones. Since both my cameras are iPhones, but I'm not using them as an audio source. They're just video sources. So in principle, I think I can use them as audio source and just use AirPods instead of the built-in mic. But the problem is my AirPods don't last more than, I doubt they can do 2 hours. Because I have first generation AirPods, so they don't run as long as the later ones. So that's the issue with using AirPods. Yeah, I should test that just to test that because I don't know that works. Can you run just one at a time? What do you mean, the iPhone cameras or the AirPod, like one AirPod, and then switch to the other one when the first one runs out? I could, but the AirPods they're fit for left or right. So if I have like the right one in and then switch to the left one, I kind of like them in the same ear. I wonder what the halfway is. The halfway is a wired lavalier mic with a Bluetooth analog, a Bluetooth transceiver that lets me plug the mics into it, which is like lets me have the wireless feature and the wired feature on demand. God, is that even worth it? Jesus. Hang on, let me look that up. Bluetooth microphone transceiver. Wireless microphone system with a headset lavalier, $36. That's not Bluetooth though. It looks like it's plain old RF. But $37, holy shit. Output for recording live performance. Okay, that's the general idea of what I'm thinking. It's just not Bluetooth. It's just regular. It's going to output analog audio at the computer end of the connection. But I've got multiple audio inputs on this system, so. Quarter inch. Okay, so you need an adapter. $37. So I got a boom, and then I got this. 200-foot range, so definitely. God, it's too cheap. Too cheap. But that could work. That could totally work. $37. So wait, if it's XLR on the box, how does it get to? Oh, okay, it's got. What? Wait, what? 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 Oh, okay. So that's the base station. Connect to a mobile phone, computer, or tablet on additional 3.5 millimeter interface is needed, but not included in the package. 3.5 millimeter interface. So like an audio cable adapter like they'd sell at Radio Shack. Is that what the fuck? It's a priest. Why would they have a priest in the promo photo? All right, Pastor Van, thanks for coming by. Oh no, ad break. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Just seeing the priest in the promo photo, but I mean, they'd already know, I guess. Review checker. Ad break ends in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Is this the one where I'm doxxed? I think this is the one where I'm doxxed. Yes. Oh wait, yeah. Doxxed. Close. Ten seconds. I'm waiting for the ad to end. Okay, we're back. You know what's interesting is if I looked at my stream manager, it actually warns me. Oh, interesting. According to stream manager, ad is still in progress. Someone is lying. Oh, cornbread. You know, I only eat one meal a day. So, well, I mean, I eat more than one meal a day, but I eat one main meal a day, and then the other meals are just snacks. So it's like I totally, oh man, cornbread would be nice. I could get some mix and have that ready, but it's like I don't need a full tray of cornbread for my evening meal. Because I'm on Ozempic, that stuff really works for appetite suppression. And it's finally kicking in because I remember the first few months I was on it, I actually lost 6 or 7 pounds, but I gained it right back. I gained it right back because my appetite wasn't fully suppressed. I was still able to eat, 2 large meals a day or, 3 meals a day. But I've been on Ozempic long enough that I'm really feeling the effects. So I can only eat the one large meal. Oh, let me close this because I'm getting the infinite recursion. I can only eat the one large meal, and I can't always finish that. And then I'm done for the rest of the day. I might want to get a snack later, but it's like I don't feel I need to eat a full meal the rest of the day. Yeah, Trulicity. It's the same stuff, right? Semaglutide, I think it is. I was talking to my doctor the other day, my primary care, and she pointed out, like, lots of people use Ozempic for the dietary, the diet benefit, but your insurance companies don't want to pay for that. If you want it for a diet benefit, well, you get your doctor to prescribe it, but you got to pay for it out of pocket. But if you've got type 2 diabetes, you are on the list for intended recipients, or who the insurance would want to pay for the med for. So that's right up my alley, and it's actually it's totally doing the job. My my A1C, which is the 90-day average of my blood glucose level, is it's 6 point something, below 7, right? So 7 is like the cutoff where most doctors will say, oh yeah, you're controlled, you're good. Somebody posted a link. Oh no, bad, bad, bad. Oh, weird. Can I not ban this guy? Already banned in the channel. Oh, interesting. I didn't get any feedback in chat arena. Yeah, my A1C. Holy shit! When I was in the worst part of my early in my type 2 diagnosis. So I think I was diagnosed around 2005, 2006. So before 2010, I was getting A1Cs that were like 10 and 11, if I remember right. So ridiculous. So I'm a long way away from that. So a few months, was it 2 blood test cycles ago? I was hovering like in the mid sevens, which is still good, but not below the guideline. But the last 2 blood test cycles, I'm below 7, so I'm good. Well, no, that's the problem. Insurance is health insurance is a business. It's a for-profit business, right? And that's the problem. It should be nonprofit. They should be allowed to make a profit, but they shouldn't be a for-profit company. They should cover their costs, and that's it. But I'm not sure what the ongoing impediment is to running healthcare like that, because I know that exists. It's just not the normal mode. But it's how we do things in this country, right? Wait, Cuddle Bear, if you've never gone over 7, I mean, you don't have diabetes, right? Because if you're type 2, you're probably going to be over 7 at some point in having it. I was hyperglycemic like crazy, but they still say I'm diabetic because of my weight. Yeah, but if your A1C is consistently below 7, your diabetes is under control. Well, yeah, actually, technically that makes sense, because the underlying condition that makes you a diabetic is still there. It's not cured per se. It's just being the symptoms are being managed. I've heard diabetes type 2 described that way, and it probably applies to type 1, where we can't actually cure diabetes, but we can very effectively deal with the symptoms. But yeah, if I can keep losing weight, that's going to be good, because I recall one doctor told me that there there's certain, I don't know, 10 pounds of weight is good for it can be correlated with like a whole number of reduction of your A1C or something like that. So everybody can stand to lose some weight, and if you're type 1 or type 2 diabetic, you can definitely stand to lose weight. Yeah, exactly. Arizona iced tea. Yeah. Yeah, and they can do it. It's possible. It doesn't make you. I don't want to get into politics, but it doesn't make you socialist to run your business that way if that's the way you choose to run your business, because you're still covering your costs. You're still paying your employees. You're still taking home what you're taking home as the owner / boss. So everyone is covered. You just don't have crazy prices. So technically it's still capitalism. It's just you're just not maximizing shareholder value, right? Which is the those are the weasel words for how most corporations are run. They don't run for the benefit of the customers. They run for the benefit of the stockholders, because the CEO and the board are obligated to maximize value to the investors. Well, the investors are the investors. The customers are just the rubes that provide most of the money. So until the customers are the investors, that's we get what we get. But That's too close to socialism. Socialism bad. Don't want it. No good. Slippery slope. So technically, I'm done. It's really a short stream because I don't have anything more to talk about. Uh, I do believe so. I don't drink anything with sugar. I eat one major meal a day, only between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. I actually, I'll snack late, but it's never a large meal, unless it's one of those rare days, like one day every one night every 3 weeks. I might just like I'll go to Denny's or I'll go to the it's a sports bar now at the casino. The nearest casino to me is Boulder Station, and so Boulder Station is a station's casino, so they have an array of restaurants besides their food court, and they always have at least one 24-hour operation. So at Boulder Station, they went from a cafe style thing to a sports bar type thing as their 24-hour venue. So I can go there and just be inundated with sports ball on 50 different monitors if I wanted to, um, and the food's decent, and it's better. The food is way better than a Denny's, and it's about the same or a little cheaper. So that's nice. Yeah, I don't exercise, man. The most I did was like last year around this time. I was walking at night because there's a nice park near me. Um, so I would go there and walk and just hang out for like 2 hours. Um, I think I was using my iPhone because on the health app on the iPhone, it's got a mode where it will approximate your calorie consumption. So I would walk for 200 equivalent of 250 calories, which I think was like 5,000 steps or something. But it was hot, so even at night, because I'm talking about last summer. So even at night, it would still be in the 90s, and that's the case now. But for some reason, I can't get myself to go out there right now. Dog knows I could use the extra. I could use the extra calorie consumption. Yeah, and walking is easy too. Oh yeah, yeah, hip's a problem. I don't have that, and I hope I don't, but you never know. Both my parents, they're losing their mobility. Well, my mom's passed away, so but her deal was she just moved slower and slower, and at the end she was just not bedridden per se, but man, walking was a chore for her. Yeah, and then my brother he doesn't walk anymore, and my dad just ugh. I'm the last person that can walk in my immediate family, and that's kind of sad to say. Oh. Yeah, taking care of your own people shouldn't be a political issue, but here we are. Yeah, that's the thing. You'd think that would be a good, that would be a societal good that everyone could agree is good for society. But I think part of the problem, and this is one of the objections I hear as well, is why should I pay for his health insurance? Why should I pay for anyone else's health insurance except myself and my family? Which you can justify, right? In a sense that, yeah, why would you spend your money on other people? But there is such a thing as being community minded, or valuing your community, or valuing the welfare of others. but you know, keeping the money for yourself also has some value. But you know, I could argue, well, you know, if you're a Christian, aren't you supposed to help your fellow man? Isn't that one of the things you're supposed to do? But you know, apparently you can't use people's religion against them when it's inconvenient. So, oh well. We take what we can get. Excuse me. Try this little thing. I don't know why I bought this, but CRJ had suggested that Maddie get a pulse oximeter so she could monitor her her heart rate. And for whatever reason, I looked it up and it was like, I don't know, it took $15, so I just bought it. What's scary, right, is it's got your oxygen saturation level, and you want that to be, you want your oxygen saturation to be in the 90s. So the first time I used it, I was thinking, oh my god, I hope this comes out in the 90s. Ah, it's behind the browser. What? Oh, sorry. Uh, yeah, see, I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional streamer. That's the, where is it? There it is. Pulse oximeter. What's cool is it's got this nice OLED display. Can you read it? Can you? Hang on. So 97. Nice. My lungs are working. Lungs are working. Well, this beats the old days too, when I was like, I talked for 2 hours and I had the mic set in a really bad way, so I have a stream where like most of it you could barely hear me. It's like I need closed captions. So you know, like a lot of people, I don't wear a watch anymore, but I used to wear one, you know, religiously, right? Um, but I recently got a new iPhone, and you know, I had my last iPhone for 6 years, so it's like I was kind of due. Um, but then I started looking at the Apple Watches because there's like a new generation or something, and it's like, oh, I want one of those. But you know, they're kind of expensive for a watch because I can get a slightly cheaper like Casio G-Shock that has all the features I want. Um, but the Apple Watch has some biometric measurement capability, which would be kind of nice to have. Um, and I don't know if the NFC based features are worth it, right? You know, so using that for Apple Pay instead of your iPhone. Um, but you know, I avoided Apple Watch early because it was like very gadgety, and you know, they still didn't have the best displays, they didn't have really good life. But now they've gone through so many generations. It's actually a usable lifespan on the battery, and they've got OLED displays. I think even on the mid-range model and up. So you know, beautiful displays. But yeah, that's a luxury for me. I mean, I don't need a watch because I have a phone that has a clock on it. But I'm closer to having a watch now than I have been. And I can't remember when the last time I wore a watch. It's got to be close to 10 years. Because I just, you know, when you got a cell phone that's got everything on it, why do you need a watch unless you're into watches, right? But yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm getting at there, Vanna. It's like it's got like the heart rate monitor. Now, I know it's possible to measure like diabetes. Oh, actually, I've got some. It's kind of interesting. So The dog I'm named after, Amoya, Amaretto. So when he was started in the process of his decline, he had diabetes, and so he had to wear these things, right? Which are these are blood glucose. I don't know what you call blood glucose measuring devices, but Bluetooth based. So each one is good for 2 weeks. So I could monitor his glucose level and help him appropriately. So I'd heard years ago, or maybe not years ago, but I'd heard before that was something they were looking at for Apple. But you can't really do it unless you're piercing skin to actually touch blood. So they haven't, they can't have one of those that's non-invasive. But man, if they ever figure that out, that would be cool. Well, hang on, Kettle Bear. Hold on. So for years, I would buy like watches like this. So this is a Casio G-Shock. Um, this I think is supposed to be a titanium case, but the band broke, and I don't know if I want to see if I can get that fixed. And it's broken at the base, so it's not like I can get a new band. It's literally it's like I don't know if this part of the watch can be replaced. So it's a worn out watch. I mean, it's got a lot of use on it, but it still works, right? But it's like a $250 watch. So it's not the cheaper G-Shock. And I was gonna replace it with a similar model years ago, but I decided not to pull the trigger on that. What is this TikTok? Hang on, I'm watching I'm watching the watch. Ooh, what happened? What happened? How I install my continuous glucose monitor. Oh, right. I have two friends that humans that wear continuous monitors. CGMs, continuous glucose monitors. Um, it's funny that it's the same device. It's the same device they use for dogs as that they use for humans. Um, um, that's weird. Where's the Firefox? I got 8,000 Firefox instances running. Huh? How come it doesn't show up? So yeah, two of my friends have that, um, which is funny because like one of them is also on Ozempic like I am, but she's also what do you call those people that are always hypochondriac? So she's sick all the time, but she's also, and I don't know what the term is for this, but she's also always dieting. If there's a fad diet, she's on it, and then when the next fad diet comes around, she's on that. So she's constantly cycling through diets, and she's always exercising, um, up to and including a personal trainer, but she never loses any weight. And she everyone knows she's cheating on food, but it's like how bad is she cheating that she doesn't lose any weight. So it's like one of those eternal jokes in the friend group that she's always dieting, she's always sick with something, and she gains weight to lose it to gain it back. Are you able to whitelist certain websites for allowing links, or is it all or nothing? Yeah, what Vanna said is the deal. The bot is stealing the links, and what's funny is I've checked to see I'm allowing it both in Twitch and it's because when you've got a third party bot you've installed, that doesn't replace Twitch functionality, so you could inhibit links via Twitch and also via, like in my case, wait, what am I using? I think I'm using Stream Elements. Hang on. Oh, I'm using not. Wait a minute, Nightbot? Is that right? Hang on a second. 1 second. How does this work? I need to look at my plain stream. Hang on. Yeah, so I have Nightbot and Stream Elements on top of Twitch. Let me double check since it's a current concept. And I'm pretty sure I've checked these before, but I won't pretend to say that I'm like fully aware. So let me check my Stream Elements and let me check my Nightbot. So one of them could be doing it. Who was it that inhibited you? I think it was Nightbot. Yeah, Nightbot is the one that stopped your link nit. So let me check Nightbot. Spam protection? Links. This filter allows you to time out and whitelist links. So this I can whitelist entire websites, or I can whitelist specific links. That's interesting. Why is so I've disabled the link setting. Hey Nits, could you try sending that same link? Maybe it'll allow you to do it this time. Yeah, see, that came through. So I disabled Nightbot. So if I re-enable it, so I re-enabled it. I can also exempt people by user level. So like I can favor regular people, subscriber people. I can open it up for everyone. And at the same time have a whitelist. Or I can just turn it off for now and see what happens. So, okay, I'm turning it off in Nightbot, and then Stream Elements doesn't matter. But let me check anyway. Spam filter. Yeah, and I had it turned off. I had link protection turned off in Stream Elements. Man, that's not obvious. It's like you might not even pick that up like observing streams, right? You might learn about you will like Nightbot, MooBot, Stream Elements, Streamlabs, but it might not occur to you until you have to figure it out that those bots stack, right? That you can have multiple bots running on the same chat, and they can work together, or they can fight each other. Oh, cornbread. You know, it's funny, Cuddle Bears. I usually see cornbread in like a rectangular pan, so seeing it in a round skillet is like an alien concept to me. Oh my god. I would cover that thing in so much butter. Holy shit. Holy shit. Dang, I'm a little lost in Discord right now. Jesus. Stop it. Stop it. Uh-oh, hang on. Hang on 1 second. One moment. Okay. There was a Discord where we were having interesting conversations earlier today, and um, I was kind of afraid that that particular conversation continued. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about what we said. Only that there was something interesting being talked about, and yeah. Sometimes you look forward to something new in a given channel, and other times it's like, oh, I don't want to see the next comment. I don't want to see the next comment. So that was it was the latter type today. It's like, oh, we have to talk about this, but I don't want to talk about it. Mm. Yeah. Oh, you know what I should do while I'm thinking about it? I should process that return. Oh no. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Wait, what? Current tab? Not signed in. Hang on. Which one am I signed in? This one. Okay, so I go to orders. Amoya has 3 cameras running and Amoya is barely in frame. Isn't that like that's a skill? That's totally a skill. Oh, you know, I should give you like a little tour. So I used to use this thing, right, to clamp onto the shelf on one of my cubbies, and then I had a little deal that held the iPhone. And then over on the left, I just had my older webcam with its monitor lip mounting deal or whatever you want to call it. Let me turn. But now I've got these little bendable arms, which are surprisingly hard to bend. Thank you, estrogen. So I have that on the main camera, and then I have that on the alternate camera. So similar technology, so similar failure modes. And it's funny. Generally I think it works better, but it's like I'm wondering, like, oh, maybe I need something that has like a boom arm. But what is that noise? Docs. Wouldn't the back cams on iPhones be better? Yeah, the back cameras would be better, but then the display is opposite you, so you can't use the display to point the camera. You've got to look at the display on like an OBS to see what you're pointing at. So I've just gotten used to using the front camera, which is the inferior camera on any phone, right? Camera 3 is a regular camera. Yeah, camera 3 is just this wretched little webcam, which I think is like it's not even 720p. But I never saw the point behind webcams because I would rarely use them. So it was like I was biased against spending the money on it. Well, now you're right, Nitch. I can just use the monitor, but here's the other catch. Since it's a it's a smartphone webcam, all the controls for the camera are on the touch screen. So if you flip it so that you're using the back camera, which is the better camera, you lose access to all the features that the camera might have. So, which, having said that, I don't really use those features that much. I mean, I might zoom, I might put it in zoom mode, then I can, I can. Why is it not working? So I can do that. But ask me how often I do that. Almost never. Then I can manually control exposure, but that's what you give up if you switch to back camera primarily, because you can't interact with those things without being able to see and touch the touchscreen, which is awkward if the touchscreen is facing away from you. So that's the counter to the use your monitor as the reference argument. That being said, let me check something, because now you're making me think of what the resolution is. Somewhere here I have, oh, here it is. Apple does this cool thing on their iPhone pages where you can queue up three different iPhones to compare their stats side by side. So I have my current phone, which is a 15, just a regular 15, and then my last phone, which is an XR. So this camera is an iPhone XR, and then this camera is an iPhone 7. So if I look at their front resolutions, well, wait, how come they don't show the front resolution? What the heck? They're only listing the back resolutions. Oh, what a ripoff. I have to dig deeper. I don't want to dig deeper. I really want to get an OBS bot, that the pan tilt zoom camera that Maddie has, but the least expensive model is $180, and I'd rather, if I've got money to burn like that, I'd want to use it on a hard drive. Yeah, Vanna, so my previous phone was an XR, right? iPhone 10. That came out in 2018, and it's only recently that I've been noticing lots of slowdowns on that phone, in the last 6 months. So, 6 months or 6 years on the older phone was a good run, and I'm still using the phone, as a webcam, and it's still, I've deleted a lot of apps off of it, but I can still use my XR as, like, if I want to use it to read stuff, ebooks or news, I can. So I don't have to leave it mounted for the computer all the time. So it's like I've got a brand new 15, which is incredible, and I can still readily use my XR. My iPhone 7 is effectively useless for day-to-day use, but it's still great for camera. Yeah, no, I don't want to. I do not want to jailbreak these phones at all. That's shit I don't want to deal with. I want the stock. If I want to give a position on jailbreaking, it's like, yeah, you get back features, but what you lose is standardization and the ability to trust how reliable everything works, because it's in the stock configuration. So for that reason, I don't want to fuck with my phones. And before I only had the one phone. So if I jailbroke it and I bricked it, I bricked it. Now I can afford to brick either of these phones by jailbreaking it, but I don't want to even risk that. Moya, what's a realistic budget for a budget PC built from scratch? You know what? I have no idea. I have no idea. Because I guess you'd go to PC Builder. But here's the other thing too, because I know what if I went to like Amazon or Newegg and built a computer, put together stuff, and I would probably come up with something. And as soon as I publish my list, someone will say, "Oh, you're spending too much. You can get $100 off of this, $100 off of this, $100 off of this," and they do that because they go to 8 different places to get all their parts, right? And I am too lazy to save that kind of money, to maximize my savings. I would rather spend a little bit more money on the different components if I can buy it from 1 or 2 places, and just 1 or 2 places. It's yeah, I get it. You want to maximize your dollar, but I don't want to work that hard. So like this piece, the last piece I built is the PC I'm using now in 2018, that I built in 2018. Most of the parts I got on Amazon, but some things I got from Newegg, like the case I got from Newegg. I might have gotten the fans from Newegg, but a lot of it, I know CPU, RAM, the enterprise drives, those all came from Amazon. Um, yeah, so, and I can't even think in terms of building a budget PC, because knowing how long I need to keep the PC, I'd wanna equip it. I'd want to put money into, like putting, like if you've got limited character points, you want to put it in the stats you prefer. So I'd want to spend a lot of money on the motherboard and the CPU. Um, RAM, the minimum RAM would be 16 gigs. Um, and I could live with 16 gigs for a while. But with the CPU, if I'm going to spend $200 on a CPU, why not spend $300 on a CPU that will last even longer? Hey, Misty, how's it going? So I'd automatically break my budget, because I'd want to buy not top of the line CPU, because I could never afford, like I don't know the AMD, so I can't throw out a partner with it. Like for Intel, the 14,000 series, I wouldn't want to get a 14,000, the top end 14,000. Um, but yeah, I would spend money on the CPU, because that's probably the one part I'm not going to be able to afford to change often on the PC. Whereas RAM is easy to update, storage is easier to update, um, motherboard is inconvenient to update. So in that sense, I'd want to spend money on the motherboard as well. But I think for myself, I'd probably favor putting money into the CPU, because there's the range of stuff you can get on motherboards is it's so wide. You know, almost every motherboard's got two M.2 slots now, so that's like a no-brainer. Um, it almost comes down to how many PCI slots do you want, and these days you don't really need much, right? Because everything's built in. That being said, it's like I've used all. I think I'm using all my PCI slots, because I have besides the video card, I have a SATA card for extra SATA ports, and then I've got a USB card. Oh, there might actually be one socket left, but I dare not move the computer right now. I forgot who is it. Newegg that has the PC parts builder. And for that matter, Newegg used to have. Maybe they still have it. They have bundles of like somewhat pre-configured systems that you can start from and tweak from there. Is it PCBuilder.com? Do they sell parts too, or is it just for configuration? Because it's probably I'm probably self-reporting here, but I didn't build this PC by going to any of those reference sites. I just thought about what, like in this case, I bought an Intel i7 8700, which was the top of the line, and I didn't spend any time on figuring out all the little nuances of what I wanted to get. I just thought, okay, I'm gonna get 32 gigs out the gate. I'm gonna get, you know, the i7 8700K. Um, I got a decent motherboard. I could have gotten a better one if I'd paid attention to that. So the motherboard probably I could have spent like 5 more minutes on. Um, but everything else is so easy to change that it's like you can't, you don't have to panic. Like you don't. It's so easy to add RAM, right? Um, although you've got to pay attention. Like if the motherboard only has 2 slots, well, choose carefully. Because you're not going to be able to keep your old RAM if you want to add more. If you've only got 2 slots, you'd have to replace the RAM to go to higher density, you know, modules. But if you got 4 slots, you can buy 2 8s to make a 16, and then add 2 16s to make 32 to make 48 total later on. You know, you can max it out there, and then if you want to, you can replace the 2 8s you bought to make 16. So you've got flexibility if you have 4 RAM slots, which maybe you don't get if you get like an ITX board. But if you get an ATX or ATX, well, who buys ATX boards these days? Like an MATX, a lot of those will have 4 slots. So you've got the flexibility there. And then a lot of the MATX have dual M.2 slots. So you've already got room for 2 drives there, right? So that's handy. You're going to get one 16 by slot for your video card, so you're covered there. But if you're somebody who already knows you're going to use dual video cards, well, then you've got to look for a motherboard that's got dual 16 by slots. But, you know, that being said, I don't know how much people need to do that now, since lots of monitor cards can support multiple monitors out of the box, right? I think I have a 1600, you know, Super, you know, a very low end NVIDIA, and it supports, I think it has 1 DisplayPort and 2 HDMI's on it. So I can have 3 monitors on that, you know, okay generic, or not generic, you know, low end graphics card. So as long as you're not a hardcore gamer that needs, you know, the highest what do you call it? Oh, what do they call the processors and GPUs? The sub-processors. But yeah, as long as you don't need the cutting edge shit, it's like, man, it'd be cool if like 3000, if they still made 3000 series boards like that you could buy brand new. You know, I'm talking about like Evanimal, not the GPU per se as a unit, but like the separate processing units within a GPU. And I know NVIDIA calls it something particular, so that when you go up in tiers of the GPUs, you get more. I'll just throw out the word shader compared to the next lower model GPU. And it's, so if you're somebody who's trying to maximize your hardware because you've got that particular kink, you know, you're going to look for the biggest numbers, right? Regardless of whether or not you can actually use them. So you'll max everything out. So it's like the dudes will buy a 4090 with the most possible GRAM because they can afford it, and they don't want to think about, you know, buying something that they actually can get the most out of. But I don't game, so I never have to factor that into my graphics card use. It's like I just need a graphic card that works. Shit, the graphics card I bought for this PC, you know, new, was a 1050 Ti, and that was fine in Rust. I built this PC just to play Rust, and it was fine. You know, I wasn't playing it like with max settings, but it was passable. And you know, my upgrade was to a 1660 Super, and then the prices went through the roof, and so I got that just at the right time. And I'm still using the 1660. It's fine. I can still add RAM to this thing if I wanted to. You know, make it 64 gig. The only thing holding me back with this PC is the storage. I can still add storage. But there's nothing pushing me to get like a faster CPU. You know, and the only way I can do that is getting a new motherboard and a whole new, like, I have to get back on the grind and then find a current Intel. Or if I'm getting a new motherboard, then I can find a current AMD, but I don't need to do that. Yeah. Good PCs ain't cheap. You know, I showed you guys the other day. I've got a ton of these HP small form factor. You know, they're off lease computers, right? And they're you know they're like this big and like that thick. They've got mid-range fourth and fifth generation Intels in them, and you can still use these things for you can stream off of these things, kinda, but you can definitely use them for web browsing. You can do low-end gaming on them, but good luck with that. But if all you're doing is browsing and then Office functions, they're perfect. But yeah, I don't build enough PCs to tell anybody what to, or to advise anybody on how to build a budget one, because I can't think in terms of that. But whatever you do, don't buy a fucking. I should say whatever you do. Depending on who it is, there are decent pre-builds. But if you've got the technical aptitude to build it yourself, I think always build it yourself. If you're a first timer, maybe not. If you're a first timer, maybe you buy a decently equipped pre-built that you can look at 2 years from now and figure out how it went together. Then build your own. But don't build your own the very first time, or you end up like that one. I forgot what video that was, where the dude completely built a PC wrong, and then everybody freaking roasted that guy. God, what was that? It was one of those. It was one of those video groups where they just make one of those content houses. Did I hit 2 hours? God damn it! This is a short stream. Current motherboard has 10 SATA ports. I think my motherboard has 6, and then I added 6 more, 10 more. Yeah, 6. So theoretically, I can use them all for the drives I have, but I'm actually splitting it. I've got, I think, 1 or 2 are running off the card, and then the other 4 are running off the motherboard. But if and when I put in the last 3 drives, I'll need to use, I'll have to use the SATA card, because I'll exhaust it in reports on the motherboard. You talking Soko short? Yeah, Soko, she's an amateur. She's not doing the 6-hour and 10-hour streams. I was thinking, yeah, and it's mine. My computer is. Wait, I built it end of 2018, so I'll just call it 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I'm in year 6. So come November, I'm 6 solid years on this computer, which is a long run. I thought maybe I'd get 4 years out of it, and I'm going on 6, and it's still decent. I'm never gonna play current games, but again, gaming is not it's not something I do, so it's not something I have to equip for. So I dodged a bullet there. It would be nice to have like a faster CPU for video rendering. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice. But that's not killer either, since I'm not an editor. and I don't do it for pay, so it's not like I need to get that done quickly, you know. So again, I'm using an Intel i7 8700, and that was top of the line in 2018, and it's still enough for me. So the idea that you need the latest and greatest, you know, that's a myth. It really depends on what you're doing. You know, most people don't need, like for Intel, I don't know AMD, so I don't know what the family names breakout is, but you know, with Intel, you can do a lot of damage with an i5. You don't need to get an i7. But, you know, if you're focused on what is it? If you're focused on you know, how many performance cores versus how many efficiency cores you have, well, okay, you're going to get driven by the numbers, so you have to get an i7. Oh no, by the way, they got i9s now, so you get driven up the family tree. But you know, when it comes down to it, a lot of people don't need much past an i5 with a ton of RAM. But you know, Intel, like AMD, is going to sell a range because they know they can do it. They can get away with it, and people will buy the higher end unit. Oh man, remember? I wonder about the good old days when it was just like I couldn't afford Intel. So I think one of the PCs I built was like had a Cyrix processor. You guys remember Cyrix? I think the first time I had a PC that had an Intel processor was when I bought a Power Mac 6100 with the PC compatibility card. So that had a PDS card that had a 486 computer on a card. And you know, that PDS card was like maybe that big. I mean, it was not a large card, but the whole PC was on that fucking thing. 486, but still. And I don't recall that I ever used that thing. So that was funny. And that was an interesting machine because I bought that thing, and so it was a Macintosh. It was a Power Mac, so it came with I don't know what system it was, System 7.5 or whatever on a CD, and then in the box were install discs for I want to say it was Windows 3.1. I don't think it was 95. I think I ended up giving those floppy disks away too. I think I loaned them to somebody and then never came back. Oh, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna kill time by processing my return. View order. I need to return or replace item. I can't let you watch this. I will dox myself. Choose a response. Product damage, but shipping box okay. Product and shipping. It wasn't damage per se. Item defective doesn't work. Choose a response. Package opened and product used. Package not opened. Well, how would I know it's defective unless I've opened the package and used it? Describe what's wrong with item. Does not turn on. Even when unit does not turn on when plugged in. Verify 2 separate. Four times actually. Okay. Will they cross ship or replacement? Replace with the exact same item. I agree to send the original items back within 30 days or I'll be charged. Check. Oh wait, what card is it on? Hey, where's my? Oh, there it is. We'll ship your replacement. No extra charge. Okay. Whole Foods drop off. Amazon stores drop off. Staples drop off. UPS store drop off. Just bring the item in its original manufacturer's packaging. Disassemble item. We'll mail you a QR code. Yes. Okay. Confirm your return. One of the best things Amazon ever did was making returns so easy. Oh, this is awesome. Download return code. Ta-da! You're returning one item. Estimated delivery replacement July 28th. I have to wait 4 days. Oh. Pausing for ad break. Ad break. Ad break. Okay. So I have to wait 4 days for the replacement. So where's my handy calendar? Which I can't see with my messed up eyes. What is today? Wednesday. Wait a minute. What the heck is the date? I can't see this thing. 28th is a Sunday. Sunday. Okay, so next stream on the Sunday, I guess, if it comes in the morning. You know what? I found I discovered a thing. I've been getting my Monster Fix from Amazon because they're cheaper than my supermarket. So I can order stuff like till midnight, and for whatever reason, the monsters are always deliver them before 7 a.m. the next day. You know, it's just always an option for monsters that they come that fast for no extra cost. So it's like, holy shit, that's convenient. Okay, so return has been arranged. I just have to drop off the box. The box came in, not the shipper box. I just have to drop it off at the UPS. They'll do the rest. So you don't even have to come up with the replacement packaging. So that's so convenient. Holy shit. How does my mood lighting work? Woo. Oh, personal stuff. What package size for the monsters? So they're the 16-ounce can, and it's 15 cans. Like I've been buying the green ones lately for like $26 and change. So less than $2 each. Hang on, let me check something. So, because I used to get them from Costco, but I've been too lazy to go to Costco lately. So those were $34.99. I'll just call it $35 for a 24 tray. Okay, so Costco's selling them. If it's the same price as a few months ago, it's $35 for 24, which is $1.46 each, which is a bargain. But I'm paying 20. I'll call it 27 divided by 15, so I'm paying $1.80 per can. So more, but you know, if you buy them singly, right? Even at the grocery store, singles are still going to be like $2.50 or more unless they're on sale. So $1.80 a can is not bad. Not bad at all, especially since I'm hooked. Yeah, I'm hooked. Actually, you know what I should do is I should actually get Gamer Subs and get my caffeine fix from that. But, you know, Gamer Subs is like 40 bucks for the Gamer Subs and then like $10 for shipping. And the last one I bought got stolen. So it's like, I don't want to risk losing it again. Shit, this stuff today, so I got 2 different shipments today. One shipment got put in my garage, and then the other shipment was missing. And then I looked at the picture, like they send you the email that shows you a photo of where each delivery went. So I see the photo of this delivery. So this is the delivery that has the power supply in it and some other stuff. And it's like, that's not my house. So it turns out they delivered, you know, my second order to the next door neighbor. And so when I walked out to the front and looked over, it's like, oh, there's my package. So, holy shit. Could my next door neighbor have gotten my Gamer Subs and not told me? Disturbing thought. Is there anyone else on? There were people on earlier today. Holy shit, there's like... Well, at least your neighbor brought it to you. Because, you know, what's to stop them from just, you know, not saying anything? You'd never know. Well, you know, Jim Cott tells me ad starts in 51 minutes. But, wait a minute. How many ads have there been? I only get 1 ad an hour, I think. I don't know. CBD. Okay. Altered Green is on. Yeah, I don't follow them. Let me open that up. CBDO. I forgot who was telling me that they are a mod for CBDO. Hang on. One moment. Pinballer. There you go. It's funny. I look at who the mods are for any new streamer before I look at the users. Taking off, Bobby Cat. Thanks for coming. CBW. What do you want? What do you want? Oh my god, so heavy. So heavy. Oh, this makes it a lot easier to have dog cam. Yeah, Cuddle Bear. I remember I remember being told about her, and then I lost the association with the name. So, but as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that. I know the backstory now, because I think Paintballer like gave me the bullet about her. What is this? You have crusties on your belly. I really need to get her spayed. She's so old and unspayed. I gotta get her spayed so there's a chance that she could live a long. She hates being on her back. So I. Okay. Sorry. So, Katja is my third palm. My first palm was Amaretto, which my wife brought when she moved in, and then the second Pomeranian was Vision, that my wife also brought into the home. And then after we divorced, I kept Amaretto for a while. She kept Vision. Then I got her, and then so she's my third palm, and then Coco on the floor is my fourth palm. All of these palms except this one, except Katya, are okay with being on their back, and all of them like to be in the lap. You know, they'll happily sit in your lap. You know, as long as you want them there. But Katya does not. She is not a lap sitter. You know, she's not a cuddler. She doesn't like being hugged. If I bring her into the bed, you know, to sleep with me, she'll hang out for a little while, and then she'll just jump off the bed. She doesn't give a shit. Your iPhone was shooting out lightning just now. Which one? You know, every now and then out of the corner of my eye, I notice a flash behind one of my phones, like one of the camera phones. Preston, hey, how's it going? And it's because I'm still getting alerts on those phones. Return Amazon, so I probably got a notice for that. Coco, be quiet. Coco, be quiet. Oh, what's today? Today is Wednesday. Ah, yep, it's eShot on Friday. eShot on Friday. Oh shoot, that reminds me. My cat's like, but she won't let me touch her. Yeah. Coco, be quiet. No food for you. Poor Coco. You're falling. Let me add her to my Chatterino, so I get a note or so I see her. I'll see her go live if she's in my Chatterino. Okay, so let me go back. Oh, what happened? Did her stream stop? Hmm? 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 That's weird. Her stream stopped. What the heck? Am I risking disaster? I don't know how this works. Did she end? Is that what happened? Oh yeah, she just ended. Well, that explains it. Well, I have one other person that's live, Rin Vixen, who is an Australian streamer who's not actually Australian. Oh, don't worry about it, Pinballer. That would have been cool, but no biggie. It's entirely possible she hasn't heard of me. I'll tell you who has, though. Kiwi Farms. They know my name, which is not a good thing. I will leave the rest as an exercise for yourselves. 1930. So my phone my watch that I never touch is it's in a different time zone. That's it. I got your boy Finn 2 banners like I got Maddie, and he refuses to open the damn thing. You know, I'm not surprised with Finn, because one, where's he going to put the banner? Because he doesn't, you know, the wall behind him is so far behind him. And two, he probably wants to limit his decoration because he wasn't big on wall decoration in the old place. So I'm not surprised that I wouldn't be surprised if he's the same in the new place. And, you know, don't forget, Ashley is also, she probably has input on you know, decoration. So, you know, not to attack Finn, but you know, he's been at it longer. He's got a bigger community. You know, he has a more set way of doing things, whereas with smaller streamers, you know, they're a lot more accessible, right? Oh, so he hasn't had a PO box yet where he opened it? Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath about him putting stuff on the wall though. That's that might be expecting too much. And now I think about it, it's like, how much stuff did we ever see in his old place about, you know, that came from one of us that he put up on the wall? I don't recall. When was his last PO box stream? Let me check something. You know, part of the problem is he's not streaming enough, right? Astra, Soko, Astra. You know, Finn is basically like doing 1.5 streams a month, basically. Fanboys, your backbone society, hunk of a man, chat picks my outfit, big men only. Okay, so if he's done a PO box, he's not putting it in the title. So he's had 2 streams this month, 3 streams last month, 3 streams, 4, 5 streams in May. Oh, he's basically doing 1 stream a week. But not this month. July 24th. July 24th. Still a possibility for him to sneak one in, but probably not. I know on the Icky cord they they're pretty rabid there, right? Um, and you can tell when Finn hasn't streamed in a while on the Icky cord because they get really thirsty. Holy shit! I don't feel sorry for them per se because it's just the way shit is, but it's like it's not like the old days when he could stream that he could stream the next day or 2 days, at most 3 days later he'd stream, right? So we would get multiple streams in a week. Um, that was in 2021. 2022 it started to fall off. Yeah, that's it, Vanimal. And I think he does have the monthly photo shoot time. So I don't know if the times during the month vary, but I think the schedule is there's always one photo shoot each month. So you got to count on one week where he's probably not going to stream that week because that's the photo shoot week. Um, and maybe you get a hint of that if he's like if he's posting an Instagram or a tweet and it's like London or something, or it's a hotel, then you kind of that's kind of a clue that it might be photo shoot week. Pre-roll ads are on. We're in an ad break to disable. Oh, dying. 1 second. Okay, what do you want? I need more cameras. He became more of a slut in their one stream. Yeah. Yep. Katya, stop licking. Stop licking. Stop licking. Yeah, definitely need more cameras. I wonder if you can see them on the main camera. Katya, look. Katya, look. What? What? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes. Ah! Jesus. It's so funny. The Katja, she just if she needs to get past this dude, she just walks all over him. She does not care. It's so funny. It's like he doesn't. She extends him no courtesies. I mean, she'll crush him if he's in the way. It's so funny. It's like the other dogs. They would show that they were aware of the other dogs, but Katja, no clue. Doesn't care. Everything belongs to her. Wait, what's this? Oh, that's the USB for the other webcam. Okay, is it 3 hours yet? 2 hours, 30 minutes. Okay, I gotta stretch it out 30 minutes to hit 3 hours. For no particular reason. Third party events. What is this? I don't understand. As soon as I try to pick up Coco, he just immediately starts running. He won't let me grab him. Damn it, Coco. What? What? Oh! Oh! You fat fuck. He freaking fights. He fights for it. Doesn't want to get caught. This guy will sit on my lap pretty much as long as I want him to. Sleep. Sleep. No sleep. Alexa, turn off desk light. Yeesh. Alexa, turn on desk light. Yes. Yeesh. Still works, still works. Dying? Are you dying? You're too young. Cut more years on you still. Mm-hmm. I've been paying attention. You got at least 2 years left, maybe 4. Let me check something. Oh wait, you can see that. Hang on. Oh, but you can't read anything. Nice. Was there anything else? No, that goes back to Amazon. Oh, 1 second. BRB. I need a BRB screen. I gotta make something interesting for that. That is a technology that I do not have. How hot today? You know, I can recall getting in the car in the afternoon, so around the temperature peak, and the car said 111, and for once I believed it because it felt, I felt like I was baking the whole time I was out. I was getting ready to go to the pharmacy. So I walked out, threw something away in the trash bin, and then walked to the car, and I just felt like I was burning up. And then the car said 111. I ran my errand. On the way back, the car said 114, and usually I don't trust it when the car reads over 110. If it's over 110, I start thinking, you're 5 degrees high, buddy. But it felt like it was 111. Oh, man. 1 second. I'm getting tired of the heat. I need to go somewhere reasonable like Pittsburgh, where they actually have water that doesn't taste like what I have. Unoriginal, that was good. What's so real about it? That like it's a normal chair? I don't believe in gamer chairs because I'm not a gamer, but at the same time, it's like I don't need all those performance features, you know, quote unquote. Be right back. Oh my god. Ugh. Towels. Cali fucking sucks. Really chair setup. CGI boy. There's always at least one dog in range. How do I say this? Gorgeous. Oh my god. Well, thank you for following person whose name I can't pronounce. Oh, this is a good view of the shirt. I should. Oh, thanks for following on the original. Yeah, I won't hold it against you. Yeah, the alerts are the. You know what's funny is the alerts are enabled on this, in this scene, and they should show up because they're in front of the window capture or the video capture. Ah, nothing's working. No, my browser alerts are the topmost. The topmost thing I have in the sources is a non-visual source, and then the next highest are browser alerts, then chat box, then Donegal. So it should be visible. What the heck? Things used to work. Hang on, I'm going to simulate one. Hang on. Let me simulate a followed. And nothing happened. Let me do something. If I go to, I know this works live. Let me give this a shot. Overlays, alert box. Excuse me. Okay, so now I'm looking at my stream elements. So if I simulate a follower, wait, that works from the stream elements web page, but if I do it here in OBS, I get nothing. What if I simulate a tier 1 subscriber? Nothing, but if I do it over here in stream elements, boom. You know what's weird, Ben? I just realized my activity feed in OBS is empty. What the heck? Something broke. So I can't replay them because I don't have an activity feed in OBS. Actually got less functionality than I had last time I streamed. So last time I had alerts that didn't work, but I had an activity feed. Now I don't have an activity feed and my alerts still don't work. That's not good. Not good. What if I try to add, oh, I can't. I don't know. Who knows how any of this stuff works? Oh, okay. So let's get this back to normal. So I have to make sure not to point this so that I see outside the door, because I don't want to get the shit scared out of me if there's something visible out there past the shark. Something like that. Anything weird in the back? I don't think you can read that box. That's good. You don't want to read that box. Definitely don't want to read that box. Stream Elements has an activity feed. Well, in OBS, I have the Stream Elements activity feed doc, but it's not actually showing anything. And then I also have the Twitch chat, which is a Stream Elements docked item in OBS, and that's working. So it's like I've got half the docs. I have half of my Stream Elements docs in the OBS app are not working. If I open up this one, I don't know if this is gonna work. Hang on, test 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm seeing, I've opened up my Stream Elements web page. I'm looking at the overlay for the chat box. So I saw my test message show up in there. So that's echoing properly. Man, what the heck? I don't even know where to look for what's broken, because you know, it's not like I've actually gone out and changed any settings. It's just not working. So that's frustrating, because it's like I don't see what the possible cause could be, since I didn't change anything. Kind of like the lights in the back. I need a green one back there. I don't know about Stream elements having to be reloaded. I mean, every time I fire up OBS, I don't even think about it. But I'll see like the activity feed will show me like who's followed. So there's old follow data that's in there that I've seen, but for some reason those aren't showing up right now. So basically, the activity feed doc, which is just just a sub window in OBS, the main OBS window, it's just blank. When I should be seeing the history of followers. Let me close these up here. So if I look at my stream manager, so on the Twitch page, I see my activity feed. I'm just not seeing it echoed to the activity feed in OBS, which is a Stream Elements provided doc, slash window. So that's frustrating. Frustrating. Could I have? I mean, it says to log out, so I assume I'm logged in. But the chat is working. The chat is a Stream Elements provided doc, so I don't know why one works and another one doesn't. Oh my God! It just occurred to me, I thought the 220th follow was you following 220 people, not me hitting the goal. So thank you for doing that. So you are aware of it and I wasn't. Professional streamer. Oh, 1 second. Watch out, watch out, watch out. You're gonna get crushed. No food free. Oh, you're on the water. I don't have enough calcium in my water, so I got some tap water. Hey, what happened to my Yeah, I look at the tripod that that the webcam is on, and it just bugs me that it's just like this ugly ass generic tripod I bought. Like, I might have bought it in Tokyo of all things during a trip. I had a really nice Bogan brand tripod in college, which I remember bringing with me the one semester or the 1 year that I lived with a certain person. And when the year ended and we went our separate ways, I didn't realize that Bogan had left with him. And that was a really nice tripod. It had a really neat, so the mount, it had a lever action thing that was easy, like spring loaded, so it was very easy to open it up. But when closed, it was a positive lock, so the camera, you would screw it in the base, and the base would go in the area into the receptacle, and the latch would positively hold it, but very easy to remove. And then it was very sturdy. I mean, it was a really good tripod, and it just freaking disappeared. And I'm sure he thinks it's his, because I remember the dude was into videography, so he was doing that. So, but at the same time, I think he might have known it was mine and took it, and I never noticed. I bet you that dude still has it. I want my $2. I want my boggin. In fact, I know he's got it because I can clearly remember one day when he said, "Oh, cool tripod." Fuck. Oh, the recriminations have come back from 30 years ago. Is it 30 years? 94 would have been 30 years, so it would have been 92 or 93. So 31 or 32 years ago. Pretty much longer than the life of every streamer I watch. uh, I think Jay had a birthday. What was it last Wednesday? And he should be 20 now. I know Peachy is 22. I think her birthday's in October. Cal should have a birthday coming up because he's been 20 forever. Or at least I think he's 20. I seem to remember him saying how he's not old enough to gamble. And Maddie and Soko are both old as fuck. Her birthday's on the 1st. You know, my birthday's on the 2nd. Holy shit, I gotta write that down. We're both September babbies. Don't tell me though, like she's turning like 19, right? She's like hella young. April 1st. Wait, is that a joke or for real? It's just April 1st. For real. Okay, that's cool. 24 or 25? Who else is 24 or 25? Finn is 24. Finn is middle-aged for a streamer. Maddie and Soko are, they're basically boomers. CBDo's birthday is November 1st. Hang on. I actually try to pay attention to stuff like this. Excuse me. Let me write down Jay's before I forget. So Jay was 7/24, so 7/17. He turned 20, and then Bats is 9/1. Interesting. Maddie is 6/6. That one I remember. Because that is D-Day, I believe. Because my ex-wife and her sister-in-law, you know, they're twins. Their birthday is the 4th, June 4th. So I just have to think of D-Day, and then I know my ex-wife is a couple days before that. I don't know Soko's birth date. Yuma is also a September baby. I think like the 14th or something. Oh, let me check something. I'm looking at the performance tab on Task Manager because I should be having like decent GPU activity because of the encoding. Too many damn diffs. Yeah, my GPU is like 50%. Holy, he's working hard. Video encode. Damn, he's working. Oh, I think that's a new feature. Maybe somebody out there knows it, but I think it's limited to 4000 series NVIDIA. I don't know what the equivalent is on AMD, but if you've got the right GPU, you can do your own transcoding locally. Although I'm wondering if you're doing your own transcoding locally, how does that means you're providing the alternate resolutions for your stream. So doesn't that mean you've also got to consume, extra bandwidth on your upload? You already consume, one stream worth of bandwidth, but now you're going to do it at sub resolutions, right? So if you're streaming at 1080p, are you then also streaming at 720 and 480 and 360 and 160? And do you have the bandwidth for that? Pastor Van, is that your birthday, Pastor Van? August 8th? '18th. So I have Pastor down for August 18th, Jay July 17th, CVDO 11/1, and Bats at 9/1. Okay, need a little page where I'm doxing everyone's birthday. 9/1/99. I actually don't celebrate my birthday. I'm not big on that. I'm very much it's just another day kind of thing. I mean, I don't mind it for other people, especially if they do celebrate it. But for myself, it's like a non special day for me. It's just that day on the calendar, right? What do you want? No food. No food. You're starving today. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Oh. Ah. Every now and then I get those pains that Maddie gets. Someone highly suggested I do a stream that day. Interesting. Interesting. Muy interesante. Stop staring at me. I'm not going to give you food. I ignore Katya until she actually taps me on the leg with her paw. Maddie turned 29, so it's 6/6/95. Yep, that's correct. Jesus Christ. Unoriginal, oh my god. Someone toss a bucket of water on unoriginal. I went to yesterday when Sarah the Archer was out here and we were having lunch. We went to the Tofu Hut, which is in Chinatown here in Vegas, and so Tofu Hut is actually a Korean barbecue. So it's got you can order regular stuff off the menu, the a la carte menu, or you can do the all you can eat. And so they do a $24 all you can eat, / 90 minutes, and they have a lot of beef items, a lot of pork items, a lot of chicken items, and then appetizers, and it's all you can eat. So you could just ask for they've got Angus beef bulgogi. So it's it's cut up and marinated in like a sweet-ish kind of marinade, and you could just ask for that repeatedly. Yeah, you can actually get tofu too, incredibly enough. Um, you can just, as long as you're within 90 minutes and you're finishing it, they don't care. They'll just keep, okay, no problem, no problem. So Sarah didn't know what to pick, so I went and got that and beef brisket, which is, but the way they serve it is it's thinly sliced. So the beef brisket is thinly sliced pieces, very fatty, right? And then we got the Angus beef bulgogi, and then I got a bunch of appetizers, but she only had egg rolls. Um, but those two, helpings of food filled both of us, and I was like a little disappointed in myself because we got $24 worth out of it. So 24 bucks a head. We got 24 bucks each out of it. It was worth it, but it's like I feel like I should have been able to eat like three different things, not my share of two different things. Um, but yeah, we got one of the appetizers I got was tofu. It was kind of a weird tofu because it had vegetables embedded in it. And then I got what was that stuff they're eating in Aliens? In Alien, not Aliens. Um, 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 I can't remember. But then I also got kimchi, which actually was kind of mild. I need to go back there. That's a good place. Jeez. But I think it's more fun when you've got someone with you. Let me check something. Let me check something. Hey, you can see my mail. Can you read my hand? No, on that wretched webcam. Whew. I need to. I've been ordering pizzas at Marco's Pizza, and I'm kind of burned out on it because I'm just used to the flavor. So it's like for variety, I want to go to Pizza Hut, but I kind of don't want to go to Pizza Hut because I know what happens with Pizza Hut because it's so greasy. At least the place the one I go to, I always get the deep dish, and it's always so greasy. Holy shit! But they do trays of what do you call it? They do pasta trays, which are nice. Yeah, see, that's what I try to do at buffets, awkward fat guy. It's like there used to be lots more buffets in Vegas, but then COVID hit, so only the fancy buffets are still open on the strip, but everywhere else in the strip and around the valley, all the buffets closed. So it's hard to find a buffet that was that's at a casino because they've just all decided it's not worth it. But those were easy because those were cheap. You pay like 10, 12, $14 for an all-you-can-eat lunch, and maybe 16, 18, $20 for an all-you-can-eat dinner, and you could easily put away that much food. Um, all-you-can-eat sushi, we've got a couple of those out here, and that's kind of easy to more than break even on, since you can get, they let you get the rolls as well as regular nigiri sushi and sashimi. So you can load up on like a mackerel is usually a premium over tuna and salmon. So you could get like a premium sushi cut or sashimi cut and easily cover your all you can eat. Um, but it's like the tofu hut because it's barbecue meat. They don't know it, so it's not sushi, which you could expect might cost more. So it's kind of like in a gray area between like an all-you-can-eat sushi place, which I expect to be a little bit more expensive, and then a casino all-you-can-eat place, which I expect to be cheap, but have everything. But there's no such thing as a cheap all-you-can-eat normal buffet now. You have to go to like the Cosmo or Bellagio or the Wynn, and like Wynn's all-you-can-eat. The breakfast buffet there is like $35 or $40 for breakfast, and then dinner buffet is like $50 or whatever. So it's pricey, but um, the selection is amazing and the food is good. But if you're used to like Vegas from before COVID, it's like holy shit, why would I go there? Oh, I drove a smart car. I drove a smart 4.2 uh, almost all of 2015. I think I've talked about this. It belonged to a friend, and her son had gone off to college, and so rather than just pay the monthly on the car and not use it, she let me pay the monthly on the car and use it. So for that year, or that almost that whole year, I had a smart car, and that was, it had that car has a 1 liter inline three engine. It makes 69 horsepower, nice. Um, but it had I believe, a four-speed auto transmission, which had this interesting property where it had a first gear, and where you would expect the transmission to lurch in the second, and you go marginally faster because you're in a higher gear. You actually you feel like the car falls into like a torque hole where suddenly the engine doesn't work anymore. So you're in first, and it's a very short first gear, so you immediately have to go to second. And as soon as you go into second, you lurch forward because the car stops moving forward. Or it keeps rolling forward, but it's like because your velocity changes, because it's like the engine is making no power, the whole you and the car lurch forward, and then the engine realizes it should be producing power, and so the latter half of the second gear it's producing power. And that's just how the thing had been the whole time I had it. It's like there is a hole in the power curve of that car where you get a little bit of a little bit of RPM to get up to get their first gear, and then now you're shifting in the second, and for a couple seconds you get nothing, and then the engine wakes up, and then you're back on what passes for the boil on that little engine. And it remains slow throughout the rest of the gears. It's especially slow in that missing second gear. Um, and it's something people mention in the forums. It's just a characteristic of the engine slash transmission combination. The only way I found to get around it was to put it into manumatic mode. So you move the shifter to the left. So now you got plus and minus control for the gear. So you can hold it in first longer and then go into second once you're past the RPMs of that hole, and you get second gear and it feels kind of normal. You're still not going anywhere because that's a smart. It's making no power, but you're going forward, so it works. But it was such a quirky car. I just loved it. I forget the name, but I did expensive Sunday all you can eat brunch at Wynn, $75. I got my money's worth. Basically lost today. I it was the thing where it was $75 for the whole day, because I know a couple of the hotels did something like that where you just paid a hell of a lot of money, but you could go back for all three meals, which is insane to me because it's like, how do you? I mean, are you going? Are you taking a poo in between? I mean, how are you making room for it? Did my smart car have a spare tire? No, it did not. And there's no place for the spare. What the smart car does have is an inflator. It has an inflator, one of those goose style inflators, right? So it's not a compressor. It's one of those goo cans that it squirts goo into the tire and provides the inflation. Um, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, in 2015, a lot of cars still had spares, but the Smart definitely didn't. I mean, if there was something they could leave off that car, they did. But the car had AC. It had a decent AC. Um, Radio was kind of it was there. Um, I didn't have it long enough to want to change it out. Um, the heater worked. I got to check. I got to use it. In the cold and the hot season, and it worked. Um, it was just tiny. I mean, it was just the front seat, and then the back. The back was room for like 3 Pomeranians could fit, or you could get. If you guys remember the old paper grocery bags, you could probably get 5 of those across, right? Um, you could carry 2 carry-on bags worth of luggage. Um, and I remember it had the roof. The center of the roof panel was polycarbonate, and it flexed a hell of a lot. So you if you looked up, you were seeing sky through tinted polycarbonate. No. It was back in 2000. The Sarah buffet was like 250 if you were staying there. Sahara pre-demolition. Maddie could actually ride in the back seat. Okay, she would fit. Her waist would fit. The problem is the back still cants inward, so she would have to crane her neck. It would be very uncomfortable even for her. What's funny about that car too is it's the rear wheels look kind of normal for width, but the front tires are really narrow. So you've got you don't rotate fronts to backs. You rotate left to right because the tires are different sizes. Um, yeah, very stiff ride. Kind of like I remember when they started selling the Cooper Mini here the very first time. One of my brother's friends got one in a stick, and he let me drive it around. And I gave him the warning. It's like, I can drive stick, but it's been a few years. It's going to be rough. He said, don't worry. And that car felt like it was on fucking rails, and the suspension did not give on that car. And what was interesting about that is he couldn't buy that out in California yet. I think that was the story. So he actually flew to New York to buy that car, and he drove it back from New York. So I don't know if that was because they weren't selling them in California yet, or if the only one available in the country that he wanted to buy was only in New York. There was some story. And so that his Cooper came. Well, it's not even really a Cooper, is it? His Mini. He broke in his Mini by driving it back from New York. Um, well, yeah, that's the thing though, because before it was Cooper the car because it was a Cooper Mini, but once BMW bought them, it became a Mini. But everyone remembered that they were Coopers, so Cooper was still part of the name somehow. But they weren't Cooper Minis because they weren't made by Cooper anymore. I think, didn't Lupin the Third drive a Cooper Mini? I think that was the big deal about that anime. That was a fun car. I don't know what he ever did with it. Man, I was bombing around our neighborhood in that thing, destroying his clutch. Holy shit. So much fun, though. I was looking at those years ago, but they're like really for what you're getting, they're real expensive. I think that year I ended up getting like a Nissan Xterra, and that Xterra is actually a car I kind of regret selling or trading in. That would have been a nice car to drive into the ground. For whatever reason, I bought the four-wheel drive and never used it. I mean, I might literally have gone off road in it once, and didn't, I turned around right away because I was on like some real washboard road and it was too rough, and I was too much of a pussy and said I'm not going to risk my tires on this. All right, good night, Cuddle Bear. Thanks for staying. Yeah, I kind of missed that truck. A real truck, right? Receiver style hitch, actual roof rack, room for three in the back, no problem. Great for camping. So naturally, when I traded that in, I got like a Ford Focus SVT, but the 5 door, the very rare 5 door, and I don't know if this is true, but my understanding was the 2005 Ford Focus SVT was the only year they sold a 5 door. So that's a ZX5 Ford Focus, but in SVT trim. So it has the 170 horsepower engine, ABS, Euro style wheels, heated seats, heated mirrors. It was it was a hot hatch. It was a cool little car. Damn, I miss that car too. 6 speed. I remember driving home from LA one weekend and noticed smoke out the back. So it turned out something had punctured the left rear tire. So in 110-degree heat at 80 miles an hour, I was cooking the flat tire, and it was not on fire, but really close. And so when I finally pulled over, I just looked at it for a while and just let it cool off before I went to change the tire or take the wheel off. But I've changed wheels before, changed tires on a car before, but not when they're close to being on fire. That car was yellow, but they had a particular name for that yellow too. It was a warm yellow, which is different from the normal Focus yellow, which was a cool yellow, which means it has a contamination of the blue tint to it, which blue negates yellow on the color wheel, but on that yellow it just looks like an unhealthy pale yellow compared to the yellow they had on the Focus, which was a nice rich warm yellow. I forget what they called that. But man, that was a 2005, so that car probably would be by now completely destroyed. Might have lasted 15 years. I don't know. Is it 3 hours yet? It's 3 hours and 20 minutes. What the fuck? Oh man. Oh man. Okay, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Is there anyone else streaming? How can no one else be streaming? Not even. Wow. I was gonna say your local Jen, but it's like super early for her. No, not tonight. I'm actually kind of sleepy. What's today? Wednesday? I don't think I actually have anything. It's on my schedule for tomorrow. I mean, I have to run errands every day. But I think tomorrow is just a regular grocery run. Oh my god, there's nothing on Thursday. Nothing. Oh, I missed spaghetti night. Shoot, that was last night. Tonight is meatloaf night. Did you see my question with the handbrake and the MIDI? Oh no, what about the handbrake? Let me scroll back. Scroll back, scroll back. Uh, have you seen the video of kids trying to do a handbrake turn in a smart and it just rolled the hell over? What? How the hell did the smart overcome the handbrake? I mean, the engine is, it's got this rubber band engine that barely can get out of its own way. Wait, Mini or a smart car? Wait a minute, I've seen the video trying to do a handbrake in the smart. Oh shit! You know, actually, that reminds me. I did my laundry. Yeah, I dry. It's in the dryer, so I have to get it out. And I noticed there's water behind the dryer, so I'm not sure if the washing machine is leaking or the heater's leaking. So I gotta pull the dryer out so I can get behind there and see what's going on. And while I'm at it, I gotta replace the what is it, the vent hose, because it's all rotted out. So ugh, I gotta add that to the to-do list. Dryer, vent hose, and it's one of those things where I have to move the washing machine before I can move the dryer. And the washing machine is so fucking heavy. Oh my god, it's so heavy. And I gotta move it at least a foot to the right so that I can move the dryer far enough to the right that I can get around it. Oh shit, that's not gonna be fun. And it's gonna be 110 degrees in the garage. I might have to do that naked. So let's see. Tonight was meatloaf night. Shrimp scampi is Friday. Wait, when did they do their? Or is that every night? I think primary was every night. Amoya BP. Well, if you mean battle pass, you know what's funny is I'm part way. I'm like stuck part way through the registration for that because they requested links to existing content so they can judge my content or something, and it's like there is no content, you know, so I can't link you anything because there's no place that has anything. So it's like, what the hell do I do? It's just like with YouTube. Like my channel used to be monetized, um, and then at some point they realized that it was just a clip channel, and so everything is non-derivative, which is correct. It's a clip channel. You know, I never said it was anything but that. Um, so they wanted me to give proof of my process, but I was telling them and I was explaining to them my I don't have original content. So in my mind, me saying I don't have original content means they don't need to see proof of my process. So, you know, I fully expect them not to reinstate the site or the channel, to reinstate the monetization, right? But apparently they still wanted to see proof of my process, and I don't know why they need to see that when my process will just show what I've told them in so many words, which is I just clip from a live stream, save the clip on my computer, and upload the clip to YouTube. It's like, it's completely unoriginal. Why do you need to see that? So, obviously they never, they never said anything more because I never completed the process. And I think to this day they're still waiting for me to submit my process. So, I guess now I can include, oh, by the way, I'm streaming, so now I have VODs. That's original content. Can I get monetized now? Um, but 98% of the content on my website is, or my YouTube channel, is clips. So it's the same shit. So I don't. Sometimes I don't understand the processes that YouTube has. It's like, are you paying attention? So I probably need to revisit the battle pass and see where what the verbiage actually says, because I might be remembering it wrong. Yeah, but I believe I owe them links to show content. So maybe theoretically I can show a link to one of these VODs, but it's like that's hardly what would be on a BP. And I can't link to IkiCord because that's a private server. Oh man, this green stuff is good. I tried one of these, Ultra Watermelon. These are pretty good. Oh my god, that makes 4 for the day. That's it. Too much caffeine. Okay, so I said 3 hours, 30 minutes, and we're 1 minute away. How can you drink caffeine after 8 p.m.? I just do. I can drink coffee at like bedtime or like at midnight and still go to sleep. I have to really over OD on caffeine for it to affect me where I can't go to sleep. Yeah. So, it's bad, it's definitely bad that I'm at that point with caffeine, because I can't recall. I remember in college, this girl I was sweet on, physically a very small woman, and she would tell me how she could drink one Coke, 12-ounce can, right? And she said that she would be totally wired. I stayed silent since I've been here. I want you to keep your count up. Oh, viewer count? Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out. How about cutting back on the caffeine for a start? I don't know. I'm completely hooked. That's like asking. That's like ask Soko to cut back on her nicotine pens, her vape. If she cuts back on her vaping, I'll start cutting back on monsters. Yeah. So this girl in college told me she would get wired off of 1 can of Coke, which I was like, how is that even possible? I could drink a 6-pack and not feel a thing. So just the idea of caffeine in a Coke keeping somebody alert is just an alien concept to me. All right, Vanderbilt, thanks for coming. We'll see you next time. Yeah, get Soko to cut back on her vape. I will cut back on monsters. I'll be able to save money too, since it actually costs real money. Okay, 3 hours 31 minutes. I am past 3.5 hours for my short Strem, so I will call it a stream. So thank you everyone for showing up. I should get the replacement power supply by the 28th, so either that night or maybe the next night, which would be Monday the 29th. I think that's the Monday. I will pick up with what I was going to show in this stream, which is wiring up that power supply and then demoing the Peltier cooler thingy. But otherwise, I will see you guys in a few days, and yeah, we'll pick it up from there. Everyone have a good night.